Valley Club, there are a few different types of characters in Marvel Strike Force. Those characters that you know are good, the characters that you know are bad, but then there's those other characters that most players think are bad, but actually add a lot of value to their roster. And these are the characters that we're talking about in this video. The top hidden gems of Marvel Strike Force. Do not sleep on these characters. If you're ready to count them down with me, then you know what to do, Valley Club. Find that like button and let's go smash it. And welcome back to the ValleyFlyin channel. I'm ValleyFlyin and I hope you're having a great day. In this video, we're talking about the hidden gems of Marvel Strike Force, the best characters to invest in that nobody else is. But before we get to this list, if you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button for more great Marvel Strike Force content. We have at least 5 Marvel Strike Force videos per week on this channel. Usually there's more. We got gameplay videos, news videos, question and answer videos, everything up your experience in Marvel Strike Force. Well, let's jump right into the game and talk about the best hidden gems in Marvel Strike Force. And obviously, these characters are not characters like Apocalypse or Kang, Ghost Rider, Robbie, or Skrull, or Mephisto. If you have them unlocked, you know these characters are good. If you have these characters unlocked, you're gonna invest in them because they're gonna give you a lot of value in all game modes. But we're gonna talk about some other characters that are hidden gems that maybe you haven't invested in. Maybe you've been diverting your resources to other characters. Well, here to tell you in this video, some of these characters, you may want to divert some resources because they are going to give you some value. Maybe not as much as your foundational characters like your arena teams or your raid teams or even some of your other Crucible and War teams. But these are characters that if you invest in, well, you will get some value back if you use them. And the first character that I want to talk about today is X-23. She was always a very, very good character, part of that X-Force, and she's kind of a force on her own with the way her kit is designed. She was always very good. Her stats didn't really keep up with a lot of the meta, but with a recent rework and a recent stat updates, well, now she is in line with the rest of the meta, and she does a bunch of different things. When an enemy drops below 50% health, filling her speed bar by 40%. This is why she is a force on her own. She can, if you manipulate this right, you can have her do turn after turn after turn and just take out a whole enemy team. If she is strong enough. Right, the other thing she does, she have a big 4-turn move, 100%, 80% piercing, attacking the most injured non-summoned enemy and hopefully dropping them below 50% health, getting that extra turn meter. Also does a nice ability block on her opening special here. So a lot of good stuff. X-23 will give you some value. Mainly for war is what you're building this character up for. So if you are serious about war, you're going to get some value from X-23. Next hidden gem of Marvel Strike Force that I want to talk about is Silver Surfer. This was a meta-defining character when he was released. So there's a clear shift in the meta from the base stats when Silver Surfer was released. All the previous characters and all the post-release characters and post-rework characters, their stats were in line with the current meta. And that all happened with Silver Surfer. Now, his stats are still pretty good. His kit didn't really keep up with the meta. And unfortunately, even on release, when he was such a good character, never really fit into one solid team, was always on these hybrid teams. That's kind of where he's falling short of right now. It is not really fitting into a solid team. But he does have this speed. On turn, he's gaining 15% more speed, 45% more maximum speed. So after that third turn, he's at his full speed. And that is why those enemy Silver Surfers, you want to take them out right away, because if you let them get going, they're very, very fast. The ultimate, very, very strong move as well. Big AoE attack, clearing all charge, positive effects, and ability blocking the target. Disrupted with the special defense down. A big AoE attack again. So yes, very, very strong character. If you could find a team for him, he does a lot. He has a lot of good stats, but like I said, the downside is the team for him. And if you have a use for Silver Surfer, he does have the kit and the stats to give you a lot of benefit. I would say the other downside is this, the Astral Energy. The characters that do take this, Apocalypse, you got some Horsemen. So if you're still trying to unlock Apocalypse, you may not want to invest in Silver Surfer. Icarus also takes this Astral Energy. And that, I think, is the main reason that he fell off. The Astral Energy, nobody really built him up because they had to build Horsemen. They had to build Apocalypse. And nobody really had the resources to go back and build Silver Surfer. But now that we have Crimson Gear, Teal Gear is a lot more loosened up. You may want to go back and put some resources into Silver Surfer. Captain Sam is in an interesting place in the meta right now. The Secret Avengers are an old team and have fallen off a long time ago. I don't even see Maria Hill or Sharon Carter at all in the meta. They're an old skill team. We've had the Invader since then. We have the Spider Society now, so not even involved in the raids. Captain Sam, however, I still see sometimes in war, and we're going to get some value from him nowadays, not really in Crucible in the raids or any other game mode, mainly in war. I still see him on war defense. I still use him sometimes in some hybrid teams on war offense. And he does a few different things. He has that big AoE attack that does manipulate the speed bar of the enemies. It's going to fill speed bar by 10% for skill allies. He does have a taunt, so he's kind of a big AoE attack, manipulating speed bar, and is a protector. So it does a few different things, and this is why I think he still has some value right now. Captain Sam is more of a luxury character at this point, but if you have some extra resources and are not sure to invest in, and war is something that is valuable to you, Captain Sam isn't the worst place to put some of your resources. Another hidden gem character that's going to give you value in war is Thanos. Now, the full Black Order did get a rework pretty recently and are okay in war. I wouldn't say they're meta at this point in war, but they are still tough to deal with on defense, and you could use them on offense in war. Very, very good. The thing about the rest of the Black Order, though, their investment doesn't really line up the resources that you're putting into them. Thanos does. For everything that you put in Thanos, you're going to get that return back in the full Black Order being better on either offense or defense. Mainly this investment is for war, so if the war is something that you take seriously, well, Thanos is the character that you may want to continue to invest in. You may not need to invest in Ebony Maw, Cull Obsidian, Proxima, or Corvus, but if you want that Black Order strong, Thanos is the character to do it. So investing in one character make the whole team strong. Another hidden gem for war is Big Time Spider-Man. Now, I'm not sure how much of a hidden gem he is for war because Infestation is a meta war defense team, but Big Time is the linchpin of that team. Now, the reason that I'm mentioning him, he did get a new life when we got Black Knight into the game. What he does on his ultimate, well, he's going to attack all enemies, flipping all positive effects and negative effects on the primary target and applying 2 disrupted. You got the focus to do this on either Miss Marvel or Hardlight, or can get this to work on Black Knight. That is very, very strong. He also is a counter in Crucible for the Infinity Watch, clearing all barrier and revive once on the primary target. Normally, you're starting this on Nebula and taking the revive once off of Nebula and Gamora and just leaving Adam Warlock with that revive once. So has a few different uses. War defense, you kind of can use them in arena depending on what you're seeing on arena defense. And yeah, very, very good in war. So you got a lot of use from Big Time Spider-Man. If you want to invest in this hidden gem, can. And if you have some extra dark promos lying around, like I don't, but if you do, Big Time Spider-Man, this is a great character to use some dark promos on. Next hidden gem I want to talk about is a character that I thought would never fall out of the meta. Unfortunately, the way things went, he did fall out of the meta. Mr. Sinister, his clone mechanic made him so strong, but not all characters can be cloned, and his speed is very, very slow. He has 100 speed, which means that a lot of times he's dying before he can even get the clone onto the match. So he did lose value, but now with the introduction of Black Knight, the out of time team, and hybrid counters for that, pairing him with a superior 6 is a great counter for that meta out of time team. Yes, use Mr. Sinister, clone the enemy Black Knight. That is a Black Knight of your own. And because this clone scales with Mr. Sinister stats, the bigger you have that Mr. Sinister, the bigger the Black Knight is going to be. Now, for that counter to work, you don't really need a huge Black Knight. It's just more of an annoyance for the enemy. A lot of times Mysterio clears off all the charges at enemy Black Knight, and it just kind of falls apart. But bigger your Mr. Sinister, bigger whatever clone you are going to use. And any hybrid combo that you're going to use him, that 100 speed is not going to affect him too much. He still will be in the meta. I would say he's more of a war character right now than anything else. I don't see him too much in Cosmic Crucible, and I think he's a little too slow for Cosmic Crucible, but great in war. If you want to build for war, Mr. Sinister will still give you a lot of value there. But I want to mention 2 more characters, Emma Frost and Cable. They kind of do the same thing. One manipulates the speed bar of the enemies, one manipulates the speed bar for your team. They pretty much do the same thing though, and allow you to win mirror matches by getting ahead of the enemies. You replace the least valuable member of your team with either Emma Frost or Cable, and then you win the mirror match with all your valuable members. Now, you don't need to build them too much depending on the matchup. The good thing about both the passive of Emma Frost and Cable, even after they die, their passive still remains. So if you need them to survive in that fight, well, you need to put some investment into them, build them a little bigger. But for Cable, I hardly even use him in fights that he needs to survive, so it doesn't require a big investment. But I do want to mention both of these characters to you in case you're not using them for mirror matches. What Emma Frost does is you can apply negative 10% speed to all enemies, and this affects their base speed stat for the entire match, even after she dies, so their speed will be affected. Same thing with Cable. What he's going to do on spawn, he's going to fill 5% speed bar for himself and all allies, and because this is only happening on spawn to win that opening turn, you don't really need Cable to survive. But if you need them to survive in particular fights, sometimes you do invest into them. But if not, then just make sure that you're using them in the mirror matches. Another hidden gem character that I want to mention is Echo. Now, just like Emma Frost and just like Cable, you're bringing her for her passive, but you need Echo to survive for her passive to remain. So you need to build her up a little bit bigger if you're not just trying to stop that opening turn. What she does with her passive, when this character does not have blind, reduce the assist chance for enemies by 100%. This is going to help you against teams like the War Dogs that have a lot of assists, or in Cosmic Crucible. We've had previous seasons where we've had a lot of assists in certain rooms. This season right now in room 3, we have assists for characters with offense up. Echo stops that. However, if she dies, your enemies are still going to be assisting each other. So this is a character that you want to bring in. Build her up as big as you want, depending on your enemies and what you need her for. Like I said, when Echo dies, that assist chance fully comes back. So you need to build her as big as possible to have her survive as long as you need to stop those assists. If you want to survive the whole match, well, you need to put some pretty big investment. If you're just looking to stop like the opening turn or some of the opening turns, just build her whatever you need for to survive that opening turn. I do think that they're going to have that assist chance back in future Crucible seasons. So this is a character that even though the Young Avengers fell off a long time ago, you still may want to be investing in Echo. Next hidden gem I want to talk about is the original Burger King costume character. It is Baron Zemo, handing out Turkish slides all over the place. He was involved in a meta for a long time, arena, raids, everything, all over the place because of his early ability block. Well, that kind of fell off, but now with Black Knight being back, with Cabal being a thing, well, that early ability block kind of is back, and it's a great counter for Black Knight. Let's take a look at his passive because it does a bunch. On spawn, he's going to gain that charge. On turn, if he has charge, you can attack all non-minion enemies, 300% damage. Minion enemies get a little bit more damage. You're going to clear 3 positive effects from all enemies. Apply Disrupted for 2 turns to all non-minion enemies. Lose charge. Minion killed by this attack cannot be revived, and that is what's happening on his passive. Then you do this ultimate with some big damage, ability block, slow rebound chain, very strong move, and clearing all those positive effects with a high enough focus. Baron Zemo, well, that is great for countering Black Knight. So if you want to counter Black Knight, this works, especially in Cosmic Crucible. I think it'll work in War. I haven't tested it in War, but this definitely works in Cosmic Crucible. So this is more of a Cosmic Crucible upgrade for you. And last hidden gem I want to mention is Vulture, and it is very controversial if this is even a hidden gem. If you've been watching this channel for a while, you know how good Vulture is. Speed bar manipulation, very cheap character to invest in and does a lot. If you haven't been watching this character, maybe you think, oh, he's not in a superior 6. Maybe I gotta place him on another team. Maybe I don't build him up. No, he is the character to build up. He works on a superior or sinister 6. Using a lot of hybrid teams in Crucible and War right now, but that's because he is such a good character. This big move, a big AoE attack, reducing speed bar by 25%. Very strong move. He also has some good on his passive, getting more speed bar for hero enemies. So if you're going against the enemy Vulture, you probably want to bring all villains on that team. Also clears positive effects and applies slow with his special as well. Lots of speed manipulation from Vulture. Only question is, I think he's a very good character. And if you watched my tier list previously, he had a high rating. But if you have not been following this channel, Vulture, hidden gem, build them. And those are, in my opinion, the hidden gems of Marvel Strike Force right now. Did I leave anybody off the list? Let me know in the comments. Hopefully you got some value from this video, and hopefully you could build some of these characters and it'll give you some value in the game right now. If this video did provide some value though, leave it a like. It is free for you and it tremendously helps out the YouTube algorithm and the channel. And if you want to see what are the best characters in Marvel Strike Force rated from best to worst, every single character, check out the video up there, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a great rest of your day. Hulk fist bump, ValleyFlyin out.